Welcome to It's Alaska.
Is it Alaska?
Shush, let me do my intro first, you clowns.
For Christ's sake.
Good Lord. Nice accents, by the way. What are you?
For Christ's sake.
What are you from, like the southern part? Southern, Midwest?
We're from Wasilla.
There's some Chicago in there. There's some southern,
So
some
Chicago-
western.
So do the intro and then.
Okay, all right. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Alaska. My special guests today, comedians, actors. Can I say philanthropists? I can't say it, but I mean, are you guys?
I don't know.
I had trouble saying it, but
Can I say philanthropy? Probably not. No, yes, and friends. You can add that too.
and friends too. Oh,
Right?
There's going to be a big group hug after the show.
How do you know there wasn't one before the show?
Oh, the Sklar Brothers. How you guys doing?
Great. So happy to be up here.
Oh my!
And you were talking about accents, and they're very different. St. Louis, we were talking in the car, is like,
Car.
in the car, it's like, we're out on Highway 44 next to the Beebo Mill, the Gravoy Bootery, and the Sundance Silver and Hide. Yeah, right over by the Bell's Factory Outlet Mall. Eat money hungry and power hungry. Okay, so that's that. And then Chicago's a little more. Jay used to do this for your daughter. Yeah, so I did my impression that would make her laugh. Not many things I could do would make her laugh. My impression was a Chicago guy learning how to dab for the first time. Right?
Oh wow!
So what do? I just dab it over there like that? And I dab it over there. And his friend's like, that's nice. That's real nice. That's real nice.
It's fantastic.
It's fantastic. Fantastic.
It's just fun. It's just fun. See, there's some Midwestern in there too, because I got a little sense of Chris Farley.
Sure, that's Wisconsin.
Weight room.
That's Wisconsin.
That's the Wisconsin in my way.
And then of course there's Minneapolis.
Oh, Minnesota. Yeah, you betcha you know.
You betcha.
Oh,
We made some hot dish. We crinkled the little, ruffles on top, just right on top. Cream of mushrooms. Yeah, just make it all. We just, it's so delicious.
It's later taught out dish there. You bring to the church social.
Just bring it anywhere you want. Yeah. My friend Janine tried to bring it in the movies. She put cocaine on it. She put made the whole church cocaine in. Well, that's what gave the guy from Menards a stroke. Yeah, he was fine until he had cocaine hot dish. So that's Minneapolis. And then, of course, our favorite is Philly, which we used to do a bit about Philly. So, Rocky took place in Philly. Of course, there's a statue of a fictitious character on the steps where he ran.
And they actually clean it. They don't, that's one of the few statues that they actually clean. Yeah.
So Sylvester Stallone is doing like a North Jersey accent, not a South Jersey. He's doing like he's from Flatbush. Hey, yo, Adrian, why you fuck this dude? What you doing tonight? Hey, yo, Paulie, you gotta be. Hey, yo, Paulie, you gotta do. And so he's doing that, and we're like, that is not Philly. Philly is, you gotta swallow your L's. We're out in Mount Laurel. Hey, yo, Adrian, get out of that coma. Get out of that coma. Hey, yo, Apollo Creed, throwing the towel. Hey, yo, get a towel. Hey, yo, Adrian, go down to the Wawa on 5th and Locust and go grab me a wood rice. Yeah,
thank God they didn't do that. I mean,
better movie.
Horrible.
Better movie.
No.
It's like, learn the accent, guys. There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow. I was talking to my friend. She's saying there is no today. Was that Mare? Were you talking to Mare? I was talking to Mare, and she said there is no today. And there is no today. And I started sweating. I was like, grab me a towel. It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. Grab me a towel. I'm starting to sweat. We love that. Come on. That would be such a better Rocky movie. So we are obsessed with accents. I don't know what the Alaska accent is, though. Is there one?
Well, it's tough because, we've got so many, tribes.
Indigenous folks. Yeah, sure.
So that's it.
You're walking a dangerous line, Brad, right now.
Yeah. And then,
Randy and I went.
Yeah, I'm in the building.
Randy and I used to do, by the way, Hawaiian. This we did with Jay Moore, who we're trying to get booked up here for you. We're speaking into existence.
Wow. Okay.
We, on his podcast, did this character that he loves, which is two characters, which are Hawaiian Raiders fans.
And we've got up here in Alaska, we're very, very diverse. Anchorage is one of the most diverse cities in the country, if not the world. And Polynesian Hawaiian is very, very huge.
I love it.
So now I'm excited so you're going to give us a shot?
Raiders, because Randy, what was his name? Kenny Jr. Hey, Kenny Jr. grab the kettle chips, bro. Hey, bro. Hey, bro. Hey, bro. The Raiders on, bro. Get down from under there, bro. Hey, climb down off of that, bro. Let's go Raiders, bro. Hey, bro. It's like a black hole, bro. Hey, come on. Hey, bro. Us doing that for some reason made tickled Jay more very much.
That is awesome. And this is from all your, you soaking this in from traveling around the country and the world.
It's anybody who can really, I always marvel at, we have friends who can do like tremendous voice, like can do just incredible impressions
of celebrities. Yeah.
And sometimes it's not even like the most perfect impression, but it is, they capture their essence and then can improvise. Exactly. And if you can improvise as a person, like we had a guy, Brad Morris, who Second City guy, he's been on a bunch of things. You've seen his face, you know him. He's a wonderful actor and a great writer. And he would do on our sports podcast, we would have people come on and do voices, be characters. And he would do Christoph Waltz. But the thing that we said is that because there was a commercial where Christoph Waltz was like dressed in red, white, and blue, and he was talking holding sparklers. It was talking about like Verizon. Was it like I think it was Walmart, or maybe it was Verizon. Whatever. It
was very, very American.
Funny thing to have this like Austrian guy who played a Nazi, exactly, as the worst Nazi ever, as your spokesperson for your thing. And we thought, what else would be really funny? And Brad knows on about the NBA. So we're like, how funny would it be if just Christoph Waltz, we'd bring him on as like and he had just an insane knowledge of the NBA. So he had Brad's knowledge of the NBA, but he was Christoph Waltz. So we're like, Christoph Waltz, welcome to the show. It's so good.
Thank you. It's so good to be here. Just wanted to briefly talk about the triangle offense and one of the greatest players of all time.
Who is that? Who's the
Kristaps Porzingis. He is.
It's like, well, how do you know about Kristaps Porzingis?
Ability to go inside and outside. Who is going to put a hand in the face? He is a pick and pop kind of a guy.
Like just using the terms that like only like Doris Burke knows. It was. So it's just funny.
That's funny because he wouldn't. I mean, he probably knows nothing about NBA basketball.
Nothing about NBA.
Have you Matt Friend? Have you heard of Matt?
We've met Matt Friend.
He is coming up and has but just some amazing. I mean, he does it right in front of the celebrities, which he is not easy.
He's really good. His impressions are great, but I think as he continues to do it more, he'll learn how to improvise more.
Yeah,
he's young. But like, we have some other friends that are just, our buddy Chris Cox does Dennis Rodman and it is just the most, come on, man, listen, Sklar Brothers. That's not about Sklarbro, I'll be at Aguas Calientes, signing flip-flops. And you're like, what? He's like, oh, he is. So he did Aguas Calientes Casino so signing flip-flops. This is how much he sounds like Dennis Rodman and was selling it. We had him as guest, and do an interview with him on the Jim Rome show when we were hosting, which goes all North America. And Rodman's agent called in and was like, "Hey, who booked Dennis on the show? Because I don't remember."
Well, he was pissed because I didn't give it. I didn't give the.
And he's like, he sounds really off, and we're like, "That's our friend Chris Cox. That's not." And remember we went to North Korea, and he's like, my best friend for life, Kim Jong-un. He's not your best friend. He's like, come on. He's not a good guy. He's killed a lot of good guys. He took me roller skating. That doesn't make him a good guy. He took me bowling in Pyongyang. Hey, come on, man. He didn't take you. He does that, and he does Tiger Woods, which is so great. He's like, he's focus. I have to just focus on my game and be very precise. Yeah, and just just gotta focus. Take a lot of focus.
I love how you guys are talking about other comics, even though I'm here to talk.
All right, let's talk about us.
Guys.
Talk about us. That was all stuff we did on our podcast. But it's why we love accents.
Well, what's your podcast? Seeing you keep talking about it, but you haven't said it, so we as well promote it.
We have a podcast called Dumb People Town, which is that is our main podcast from now. Dumb People Town. We take the dumbest news stories that happen that
there's plenty out there.
Sure, like the mouse from Chuck E. Cheese got arrested in the costume at a Chuck E. Cheese. That got cuffed and taken out of the thing, and
poor kid
with the head on, and we were with
take his head off. That'd be even worse for the kids.
We're like, Beth Stelling, who was on the show with us, was like, "How do you know you got the right guy?" It's a great point. He's got a mouse right now, and so stuff like that happens, and we just are like, we try to understand why people do the dumb things, and we just riff on it. So that's a really, really fun podcast that we do. And then, of course, we do live stand-up, which for us to come to a state like Alaska and to really travel the country, we don't go out every weekend. So we kind of strategically pick the places that we love to
You're
go.
family men, you're married, you guys have kids,
Married
with a father.
You know, I'm an empty nester now, and we talk about this on stage.
No.
I mean, I don't know what to do with my time. I mean, I really don't. Like, but it's like 4:00 in the afternoon. He's like, what am I should be picking somebody up. Should be driving someone.
Have you asked your wife what you should be doing? Because she probably has some suggestions.
See, I mean, I try and get everything.
I'm not married myself, but I've seen enough sitcoms where usually
No, but Ray, it's like when you lose your leg in like a shark attack, but then you feel the phantom. Yeah, I have like the phantom. I have phantom kids. I'm driving phantom kids in carpool.
sometimes you just pull up into schools.
Oh no,
anyone needs a ride.
I was in the carpool lane the other day and I got a ticket and the cop's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "My phantom kids are in the back." Phantom kids. I have enough people to be in here, right? Phantom kids. No, but it's so funny because like my wife and I, we talk about this on stage. My wife and I, now that our kids are out of the house and they're in school, it's like we have no tolerance for anybody else's kids, like whatsoever. It's like we've never had kids ever. We were at like a hotel pool and like some kid was making some noise. I'm like, get that clown, shut that kid up. Put him on a goddamn leash. Put a muzzle on that bitch. Get this stupid bitch, goddamn kid. Yeah, I called your kid a bitch. Kids should be seen and not heard. That's what we always say.
We are all hypocrites.
I know. That's true. I was like, wait, didn't we have kids? Wasn't I like on a plane? Well, you're only in the stage of your life that you are in. You have no tolerance for anyone in any other stage.
I just quit drinking year and a half.
God bless you, sir.
After many, many years of drinking. And
you look clearer.
Oh, it's awesome. But I'm now looking down at others that drink, and
you have a problem.
Yeah, I'm like,
yeah. I used to be you. I don't even remember what it was like to drink.
I don't know what a hangover is. I don't year and a half, but I'm like, dude, you need to sympathize with him, not you're and go, I'm better now.
Like, I don't even remember. I remember what it was like to drink, but that was really because I drank so much. I don't remember anything.
That's true. That's why I drank, to forget.
That's right.
Well, let me ask you guys, how did you guys start? Now, you guys are very, very unique because you're two brothers, identical brothers.
Yeah.
Which one came out first?
I did. 5 minutes.
That makes you superior, right? In the brotherness?
5 minutes.
Yeah,
I like to say he was closer to the door on the way out. Which I'm wearing. Is that? Are we?
No, I like that. I like that.
Weird to refer to our mom's anatomy as a door.
A revolving door. Wasn't a revolving door, right?
Not a revolving door. It was a handicap door. You press a button, it opens on it. Well, you step on the mat and then it opens up. So how do we get started? So this is a kind of an interesting story. We were enormous comedy like nerds when we were in probably 11. No.
Oh, wow.
Or maybe 11, 12, 13. So
what's your favorite comic?
Early 80s. Yes. So we loved David Letterman as like the subversiveness and the here's an example of a bit that we remember to this day that was done on his show when he did the late night show on NBC in the early 80s. So he would do the viewer mail, which was just always hilarious. And by the way, this is like his writers wrote this bit, but he imbued whatever. I'm sure he had a hand. Having now been on our own shows and kind of been the head of our own shows, you understand that someone probably came up with the idea and then he was involved in shaping it. So the letter was simply, Dave, your hair and your eyebrows are different colors. So which do you dye, your hair or your eyebrows? Please let me know. Sincerely, Gary Brown, St. Louis, Missouri. P.S. The Mets are pond scum. No. This is like the early 80s when the Cardinals and the Mets were in the same division.
And you're a big Cardinal fan.
Right, but in 82 it was the Cardinals, or 84 it was the Cardinals, 84 it was the Mets, 85 it was the Cardinals, 86 it was the Mets when they won. So
in 87 the Cardinals, except for you lost
to Minnesota. Right, yeah. So 82 Cardinals, 85 Cardinals, 87 Cardinals, 84 and 86 were the Mets. So it was like the rivalry in the 80s. So it was a funny PS. And there's a whole question about what do you dye, your eyebrows or your hair? And Dave just is like, well, hang on there a second, Gary. I'm going to stop you right there. The Mets are, in fact, not pond scum, and I'll prove it to you with this chart right here. He pulls up a chart, and it is like everything is a joke. He's like, Mets, okay, Mets occasionally damp. All right, same with the pond scum. All right, I'm making a good point right here. Mets consume microbes. Pond scum also consumes microbes. All right, fine, Gary, you're making a good point right now. Here's something. Mets eligible for free agency after 5 years. Ponscom not eligible for free agency after 5 years. And then finally, Mets have one player named Mookie. Ponscom, everyone is named Mookie. And you're like, that is just the most brilliant, hilarious bit. And that informed the way we looked at how we would write the stuff that we do, or just what we loved. We would pass it around with our friends. We'd do it. We loved Gary Shandling's stand-up. We loved early Seinfeld stand-up. That was really fun. Loved early, like Ellen DeGeneres. We loved who's the guy, the Kentucky books joke. Not Kenny Ryderson. It was Barry Crimmins. Barry Crimmins.
So you kind of were more to the, cleaner comics.
I mean, Shandling was kind of on the,
a little bit on the,
but I mean, we loved Eddie Murphy, Delirious. I mean, that was,
Kinnison was around that time, right? Too.
Kinnison was later 80s. Kinnison's young comedian special, that long thing that he did with Rodney Dangerfield, he's wearing like the tweed coat. We knew every single bit of it. We knew every single piece. Dom Herrera, Bob Nelson's bit on there. Bob Saget's first bit on there was fantastic. Robert Townsend, we loved. The fact that Robert Townsend came up and did the first minute and a half of his act with a British accent. And then he's like, I'm from the south side of Chicago. It's so funny. Just brilliant. Like all those guys and all of the women, the people we saw at that early time, what we were drawn to were people who were doing smart, creative, interesting stuff, and not what you would expect. Unexpected stuff.
So that's you. You guys, unexpected. Okay, so there are no other identical twins out touring today doing comedy. I can't think of any.
No. So the Lucas Brothers have done stuff, but not really touring. So
Lucas Brothers, never heard of them.
No, they're very talented young guys. So we were fans of it, and we would kind of just be funny around our friends. And then a friend of ours who was in Kansas City. No, before that, we did. There was like a fall talent show. We were freshmen.
I was gonna say, did you do any high school talent show?
So there was a freshman. When we were freshmen at our high school, there was a talent show, and we're like, we should do stand up. Like we love it so much. Like let's just do it. And we didn't even say like, should I go on stage or should you go on stage? We were just like, let's both go on.
Let's do it together.
Yeah, we didn't even say let's do it together. We just said let's do stand up. And never even said how logistically do we pull this thing off. We just had 2 microphones up there, and we just started to do an early version, very early and crude version of what you see now that we do. And, we stole material, because it's like we didn't mean them because we didn't know. We're like, oh, this is a joke that we find funny, and we did it. And then we wrote some material that I actually thought was creative and interesting, bits that we were conceiving of. Like we did a bit about the math club. That was
you actually can remember. That's what I mean.
I don't remember all the jokes. I don't remember all the jokes, but I just remember there was a math club in our high school called Mu Alpha Theta, which is basically.
Oh, that sounds like a joke, like from Revenge of the Nerds,
right? Mu Alpha Theta.
The Moos.
Mu M Alpha A and Theta TH math. There was the math club. It was kind of funny, and so we're like. Mu Alpha Theta, great club, just not enough people know about it. And I think they need to open up their advertising to draw a new type of audience. So that's the premise of the bit. Not a bad premise, pretty tight, pretty solid. And so we're like, they should do ads to get people to know about their club. And they should be like those truck and tractor pull ads, like Friday night at the Omni with a grader. So we wrote like a promo for the math guy, like with his flame-throwing, fire-eating green protractor pull. Like whatever we were doing was math-based puns and jokes, but we were kind of bouncing back and forth and doing the style that, pieces of what we kind of started to do later. And it worked really well, and we were encouraged by that performance because we definitely didn't suck. No, we got like great
laughs.
Laughs. It was fun, and so then we I don't know what we expected to do after that, but then our friend who was in Comedy Sports in Kansas City, we were 15, he was 16. He got in touch with us, and he was like a Jewish youth group friend. Like we met a lot of really creative people through like this regional Jewish youth group things that we used to do. Because the Jews in the Midwest, like you had to like survive by being funny. So this guy was like, hey, they just came into our club and they said there's a new TV show that they're putting together a pilot for young comedians. Do you have any videotape? Under 16. And we're like, a videotape of you guys doing stand-up. We're like, yes, we do. Really, we actually do. We
what
just
year,
did.
That was what?
1986.
1986. Wow.
So we were 14 when we got the video, and we sent it in. And they're like, send it to this address. So we went to the guy who shot our bar mitzvah He was like the only guy with 2 VCRs, and then they together. And he made copied dubs of our stand-up set, and then we mailed it off to these people, and we're like, we're never going to hear it. It felt like throwing like a tape into the Grand Canyon. Like you're never going to hear anything from anybody. And then a month later, like the phone rang. I'll never forget. We were eating dinner with our parents, like in our room, in the dining room, and the phone rings, and we get on the kitchen phone, which like Napoleon Dynamite has like the cord that can go through
everywhere. Yeah.
Get on the kitchen phone, and it's like, hey, it's this Rubin and Core, so and so from Rubin and Core, which is in LA. It was like a production company, and we've looked at like literally hundreds and hundreds of tapes of people, and yours is like one of the best that we've seen.
Wow.
And you obviously can't steal material. You got to write your own.
You got to do your own stuff.
You notice some of that.
You got to, sure. Yours just like stand
no respect. I'd say, okay, that's funny, but you got to
get the little respect though. Hey. So they said you got to, all of it has to be original material, but they're like, there's something really interesting about you guys, and loved it. And so just, and then they proceeded to give us notes that we wouldn't figure out for another 10, 15 years. And they're like, just go up on Tuesday at your local comedy club and try all this stuff out, write new material. And like, what? So it's just high school kids. So we call.
I don't think we can even legally get in.
Get on. Right. So we call the club. We're like, hey, can we hop up on this like Tuesday night show? And they're like, how old are you? We're like 15, because it was 15 at the time. They're like, no. So we call back to the place. They're like, we called them and they said no. And they're like, hang on a second. And then they they call on the phone, and then they call us back and they're like, you're on Tuesday. And we're like, oh my God. Okay, now we got to do this. So we rewrote and tried a bunch of other stuff. And, it was us doing very sort of basic, non-relatable to adults, type jokes, but they were creative, but it just wasn't there. And it did okay. Like our set was not great. It certainly wasn't like we were ecstatic about it. And then we sent that tape off and never heard from them again. And they never did the show. I mean, so it's like,
it was a start. I mean, it says, hey, you guys are on the right track. You have something.
So then we never really did anything the rest of high school. But then in college, we started to do stand-up. So we did it in college. Our friend hosted this show.
Open mic?
Well, we host, open mic in Ann Arbor at the Ann Arbor Comedy Showcase, which is a great club. Shout out to them. Still love that place. We still go there. In the pandemic, we did a benefit to keep their lights on. Like we really tried to keep them going. They were struggling just because everyone was struggling.
No money, right? But you still got to pay insurance.
Still got to pay rent, but it's their rent,
bill and stuff.
Yeah, isn't that cool? Landlords didn't care. And then we still love that place, but we go there. We hosted a show at Michigan that was in the Union for the students, and that brought comedians in. And then we would drive into Detroit to Mark Ridley's Comedy Castle, a place we still also perform. And that was the beginning of us trying to go do comedy. And we really started doing it into our junior year. So our junior year of college, between junior and senior year, we applied for an internship in New York at HBO Downtown Productions, which is not HBO, but it was, they were doing like stand-up and short attention span theater, if you remember those shows.
Yeah.
Central, like Marin hosted short attention span theater, and stand-up was like Wally Collins and all these other, and they would show short clips of people stand-up. They would go out and shoot a bunch of people doing stand-up, and then what they would do is they would amalgamate. This was so interesting. It was almost like Comic View, BET's Comic View, where they would put a lot of the same themed things, like all these jokes have to do with prison. You know what I mean? And there'd be like a whole block. Or all these jokes have to do with the supermarket.
XM's comedy channels like that. They'll have, a certain theme of comics or things like
which,
that.
By the way, should let everyone know that like stealing is very rare, to be honest with you. I think there are only a few comics who like steal other people's jokes. I think there's a lot of parallel construction that goes on, and there are like certain subjects that everyone's going to have some material on.
And the chances of somebody thinking of a joke and it's the same one. Yeah, I mean,
sometimes they crisscross. Sometimes they crisscross. Those shows kind of highlighted the fact that sometimes they do crisscross a little bit. That was our dream, to like be on one of those shows as we're doing stand-up. We're like, how great would it be to be on one of those shows? And this is how stupid we were. And we had nobody in our family like being like, this is the way you're supposed to do this. Or we're like, we'll go work for the show. We'll be really funny. And they'll be like, we'll tell them we do stand-up, and then they'll put us on. I mean, that's dumb.
Yeah.
Well, but it's not, by the way, the dumbest thing, because
What is the dumbest thing?
the dumbest thing is coming here and doing this. No, I'm just kidding. I'm joking.
And that's Alaska.
It's called It's Alaska, Randy.
And it's Alaska. We're going to go hiking, you two, a little bit later on, and I got a special trail.
Yeah, the last person he took hiking was Chris McCandless. Okay.
Into the wild. That is wild. That is bizarre.
So we apply for this internship. I said the writer's assistants. Oftentimes people apply as writer's assistants, and if you work through that way and you write and you're funny and you write a funny script, you often can become a writer. We were just like, can we intern at this place and just be around it and understand it a little bit? So we go to New York. We get an interview, which is kind of great. We go to New York and we interview together. And it's clear that they're like, you guys want to be on-air talent. You don't want to be doing grunt work. Because we're like, no, we'll do anything. We just want to be around it because we wanted to move to New York for the summer. We wanted to live in like NYU housing, and we wanted to start doing stand-up.
Were you going to college in New York?
Yeah. No, we were in college at Michigan. So this is a summertime thing. We're like, we'll go with our buddy who we met on a trip to Israel again, like through.
You all sleep in a closet because that's what you do in New York. There's no room.
Closet would be huge. I mean, so we called our buddy from Philly. He's from Cherry Hill. And we said, Eric, sign up for this thing, like apply for this internship, because all three of us will freaking get this. And then we're going to be in New York together. We're going to do stand-up. We're going to live in New York for the summer. And it was a great plan, except for the fact that Eric got the job and we didn't. Right?
Oh, no.
So now we're stuck in St. Louis for the summer. Really? And we're like, what do we do? And we're like, okay, we're in St. Louis for the summer. We got a job at a production company interning, which wasn't as good, but still very cool. It wasn't as good in our minds, but then it turned out to be better. It's great. Because for that summer, it was a great place in St. Louis called Creative Producers Group. They do live events and they do some video stuff too. So we were sort of doing everything for them, learning a lot about production, but then also we started doing stand-up in St. Louis. We went to both Funny Bone comedy clubs in St. Louis. There was a Catch a Rising Star down in Union Station at the time. And we would do all three clubs every week. And by the end of the summer, we worked up from open mics to like a paid night every week.
Which was like $20, right? It was
$20,
yeah,
whatever it was.
Just to get paid comedy means
to be off.
It's a huge step up.
Yeah, to be off of the open mic into the Best of St. Louis nights, like just told us in a very subtle way, if you keep doing this and keep progressing, there are other levels that you could rise to. This was
your future.
Maybe
you have a future in this.
Well, I mean, we really didn't think it was possible because we had no one in our lives. So we go back to Michigan our senior year and we're doing it. And it's like, I will say it's very hard. Randy's kids are at Michigan right now. And it's like, I can't even imagine the level of commitment we had at the time, because college is like, it's hard to do your work. And we worked really hard in school to get good grades. Then it's like there are parties and social things all around. So then when you finish doing all your homework, all you want to do is walk 300 yards to a party and
another dorm,
hang with all your friends and ride and hook up with girls and just have a great experience. And that's sort of what college is. It's this wonderful pocket of.
But not for you guys, because you're doing.
We're driving into Detroit,
so there were no ladies in college for you two.
Ladies, but I think Jay's like, how did we manage to kind of do it all? Like what? Because we still had fun. We still had fun.
You lived the college life,
and then we were in this professional
your career.
Yeah, trying to do it. So we got to the middle of the year and we both applied to law school and both got in. We were going to go to separate.
You were going to become lawyers.
Yes. I mean, look, that's what you did in the mid-90s if you were Jewish.
Something pretty stereotypical, but
go be a lawyer.
They're there for
lawyer, doctor, or like you guys like to perform, go be a lawyer. You could be an entertainment lawyer, or you could be lawyer is like you stand up in front of a jury and say it's like use humor and you win. So we thought, okay, that's what we're going to do. And then we were back in St. Louis and we were looking about what to do for New Year's with our buddy who's funny in St. Louis. And we saw that our favorite comedian, Andy Kindler, was going to be performing at Catch a Rising Star in St. Louis for New Year's. It was like a stroke of luck. It was really beautiful. And so we bought tickets and we go down to see a show. Now, Andy is the funniest comic ever, but the St. Louis audiences are not right for him. They just aren't. Like, they're not smart enough for him. And people on New Year's were out for a party and he's doing all this like really funny alternative comedy. We are dying because he's being so funny and the audience is like not having it. Like we couldn't believe it. That was a real lesson for us where we're like, what are these people not seeing? Like, how are you guys not loving this? And he's killing us. And so our table is exploding with laughter and other people are like, heckling, and other people are getting up to leave. He like walked some of the people in the room on New Year's, and it was just a very up and down set, I guess, in retrospect for him. But then afterwards, Randy and I are like, okay, let's go up to him afterwards. And we said, we come up, we're like, we want to bring you to the University of Michigan. We can pay you a couple $1,000s. Would you do that? I'm sure he never thought he was going to get a booking off of that set. And he was like, yeah, just call this guy and I'll call my manager, Tom Ingenio at Omnipop. And we're like, yeah, we'll call him. So we call him up with the school's permission. And we invited Andy to come. And when he came to Michigan, we're like, we'll open for you. Take a look at our set and just tell us what you think. Just tell us what you think. Nice. Meanwhile, we had like 250 people come out. It was really fun. So after the show, we went and got pancakes late at night with him at Silverman's. And we go to get pancakes and we're like, what'd you think? And he said to us, I'll never forget this. He was like, you guys are so fun and funny to like hang out with, like as we were hanging out and whatnot. And I don't know if that fully translates with what you're doing on stage. It's interesting, which is what they had said before. And you have some material that's good, but what you need to do is go out to a coast. I'm in LA, but you could go to New York or go to LA, be around people who are really doing it on the highest level because you guys are funny. It'll force you to change your material and write it to the level. He's like, you're probably going to get rid of all this material and start over. But I was like, I think if you go to New York or LA, I think you have to just step your game up. He's like, you'll be on TV by the time you're 25. And that is all we needed to hear because he wasn't guaranteeing it, but it was like a compliment wrapped up in an insult, which was right. And he was spot on about everything. And so we came home and called our parents and we're like, Andy said we don't have to go to law school. They're like, who the fuck is Andy? That's Andy. So we were explaining it all.
Your parents mad at Andy? Like we were,
I mean, I can't even imagine as a parent now getting that call. Like as I have a daughter who's a junior, I'm like, but it's even more absurd. Like if your daughter said, I'm going at, like, you'd understand because we've already done it. Like we would made the equivalent of her saying, you know what, I'm not going to do the major that I'm doing. I'm going to go to an ashram in India for a couple of years. And you'd be like, wait, what? What are you doing?
I don't even know where an ashram is, but sounds
religious. I don't know, whatever. So it's one of those things where we were making such a break from the reality that they knew. And also we were basically saying, hey, you know that $160,000 that you somehow scrounged together to like send us both to Michigan, which by the way is nothing now to send two kids. That's like that doesn't even send one kid to college. Yeah. But that money is a waste on some level. It isn't ultimately, and I could explain why, but that money, we could have done this job out of high school. Really?
Yeah, but it's the experience of college and meeting people. I mean, you networked. I mean, without you being in college, you wouldn't have been able to bring Andy to and do a show there. Right. So, I mean, it also...
He's right. I never even thought of it.
You have to look at things differently. Totally. It's the experience.
We were English major.
Learn it. Yeah.
Being an English major taught us how to look analytically at things and have a take. Basically, a term paper or an essay about a work of literature is essentially a stand-up bit. Your topic of your thing, your thesis, it's your premise, and then you sort of back it up with examples. I mean, that's really what you're doing. And picking apart things, that's what we do. It's what we did on our show Cheap Seats. It's what we do when we're breaking down the movie The Karate Kid, or when we're breaking down the end of the movie of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, and we're like, he's flying in an elevator through the roof of the thing. And I'm like, who's going to fix the roof? All right, fine. Who cares? You're going into the sky.
That's funny though, but that's funny things that you don't think of. You're like, you're right.
Yeah.
Yes. What are they going to do with it? That's a major.
Oh, and you know what a 13-year-old kid doesn't want to do? Run a factory. That's literally the worst thing in the world. Hey, can Charlie...
Slave labor.
Can Charlie come out to play? No, he's in salary arbitration. Yeah, the Oompa Loompas have unionized.
They're striking.
Someone else fell in the chocolate river, and now he's got OSHA up his ass. This kid can't get a break, literally. No, he's not going on spring break. He's planning a work offsite. Yeah. Anyway, but so we kind of said we're going to try it. We said to our parents, we'll defer law school for a year.
Yeah.
Just defer it. I mean, we can always go back.
Let's come back to it. Yeah.
I mean, not knowing that a year is certainly not enough time to even think you would know what you were going to do. But we got to New York and we got real jobs. But in the industry, I worked as a production assistant. I was a PA on Exit 57, which was a sketch show with Stephen Colbert, Amy Sedaris, and Mitch Rouse, and Yeah, I mean, like it was all Danello. It was like great people.
And that's a good job. I mean, that could be, that could have led to like, okay, you didn't do stand up, but you're a producer for all these shows.
So I went, so I met all these, so they did sketches that they shot out in the field, and then they did some live stuff in front of an audience at Kaufman Studios in Queens. And I went there, and I remember being there, and I was standing outside, and there's a manager who managed one or two of the performers, and Mark Cohen, who's a fantastic comedian. He played Sarah Silverman's dad on the Sarah Silverman show. And he lives in Vegas now. Great comedian in New York. He's standing outside. He was the warm-up comic. And he'd seen us kind of around because we were doing, Andy Kindler set us up doing spots at like the Boston Comedy Club downtown on like West 4th Street near the Comedy Cellar now. And he was like, we're standing outside. And we're just at this. I didn't even know this was going to happen, but this was a stroke of beautiful. It was just so nice. Mark Cohen says to this guy, Ted Schachter, he was like, have you seen him and his brother do comedy? And Ted's like, no, I haven't. And Mark's like, they're hilarious. He did not have to say that. I don't think we were hilarious, but it's one of those things where those acts of kindness by Andy and by Mark, they really shaped how we interact and how we treat other comics and how we see the whole comedy community. I mean, we do a show now called Tag It, where we sit on stage and write tags for other people's jokes and then pitch it to them, and then they can take them.
Oh, I love that idea.
It's a really, really fun show. It is the most interactive. Like, I think it's like,
is it with local comics? I mean, do you have local comics?
We've done it before with local comics, but we do it, in LA, we try to do it with the biggest names we can so we can fill the rooms. And I've done it with Sarah, and some of the jokes we pitched made it into her special. We did it with Pete Holmes. Some of the jokes we did, Brett Goldstein, we did it with him.
And it's live in front of
live, and we're writing the jokes in the moment.
Can we see any of this? Is any of this online, or is there any?
There's some on our Instagram. We're at Sklar Brothers. You should follow us on Instagram. There's some clips from it way back when, and it's a really, for us, like, we want to be generous to younger comics. We want to be helpful to younger comics the same way people were helpful to us at the beginning.
You got to pass it along.
There's no formal mentorship. There's no way to everyone's in it for themselves, and that's fine. But like, can we leave comedy as a community, which people don't understand? And so, every great joke you see, there's like one great joke in people's act that like someone helped them get to. Another comic was like, hey, what if you said this like this? And it suddenly unlocks the biggest laugh in their act. And that's just generosity. And that's friendship and camaraderie. And it's like, we're all out there. I don't know. I've been watching a lot of golf because my daughter's into golf, and I'll watch like a golf tournament, and comedy is a lot like the PGA Tour in many ways.
Okay, how so? Because I think of golf,
it's right. So it's a snooze fest. That's what I'm trying to say. Performing someone shouting "get in the hole," which is weird. So I would say golf is more like porn, but anyway, so
get in the hole.
Get in the hole. So when golfers play against each other, like, yes, they're all going to try and win, but there's some days where and some opportunities where people just excel and just have the best game of their life, and you're kind of playing to make yourself better. And if you make yourself better, then good things will happen for you. That's really what we can't control what the industry wants at any given time. When we were young comics and out there and new, we got some great opportunities because people are like, who are these guys? And you kind of play the potential card for like 10 years, where people are like, let's give them a development deal. Let's give them this idea. Let's do this thing. Let's give them a TV show. And hopefully you do well enough that people are like, we want to do more and more. And we've been lucky enough to sort of be.
You've done TV shows, Better Call Saul.
We've done Toronto. Well, those you auditioned for, but I'm talking about like our first show.
Like your own show.
Apartment 2F on MTV in 1997. And then we did Cheap Seats for 4 years on ESPN Classic for 77 episodes. We did a show called United States of America. In 2001, we did a show called Dot Comedy, which failed, but it was like we got the show. And so those situations happen, and that's great for you, but we can't control if they're like, hey, we're not hiring guys over 40 anymore. Like, this is like,
exactly.
You had your time, and now it's time to go in a different direction. We can't control that. All we can control. So that's like, if you're playing the British Open and the wind whips up and you're just a long hitter and suddenly this is the worst thing in the world for you, you got to figure out how to adjust and play a different game so that you can keep working. And the other guys who in our industry, men and women who are more the flavor of the moment that people want, it's gonna be easier for them. But we can't just give up and say we're done.
You got to ride the storm out there.
And you have to fight for your own and try to be creative and do your own thing. In other words, you just have to make yourself great, and you have to help other people, and they will in turn help you. And I think that's what it is. Like, golfers aren't like mad at each other and aren't always trying to psych each other out. They're almost like happy for someone else when they do great, because you're like, yeah, you just played out of your mind that day and you had that moment.
So I know how hard it is to do that. So, it's interesting.
So, I mean, for us, when we moved to New York to try and do comedy, we did it for like 8 months, and then we quit because we're like, we can't do this.
But Andy was right. You got to lose all this material. Like, we were coming on stage dressed exactly alike at the very beginning.
No, it was so bad. We didn't know.
How did Smother Brothers, didn't they dress alike?
Brothers didn't dress alike.
Oh, they didn't?
I
Okay.
think sometimes they did. Sometimes they would
During the holidays.
Yeah. But we just
Same sweater.
But we didn't want to do the Smothers Brothers thing. That is something that we consciously chose. We're like, that's not us. We saw them, like, one was smart, one was, one played dumb, and actually the dumber one was the leader of the two, which is
He was. Yeah, you're right. The blonde-haired guy.
yeah. Tommy Smothers was
Look him up, kids. Smother Brothers. Go to YouTube.
he was funnier in the sense that, well, he got to be the funny man, and the other guy was the straight man. Tom and Dick Smothers, right? And so
Abbott Costello, Laurel and Hardy. That was the
formula. I mean, really,
You broke that. That's awesome.
So the one that we probably loved the most was Reiner and Brooks with the 2,000-year-old man stuff, because
Okay.
that stuff felt so alive and electric in those moments, because it was born out of sort of like a really fun premise and a really long act out with tons of tags. Like, when we first heard that, we're like, this is what we love. What they're doing right now is what we love. And they're both kind of being funny. And I know Reiner was the straight man and Brooks
He was really funny.
but he was being really funny in there too. And we're like, if there's a way we can do our take on that kind of stuff, and that has sort of informed our bits. Our bits play longer. They play like music. They play like songs. Our bits are, in many cases, it's a stand-up premise that is born out of a real life experience that either one of us has had.
Kids, your family.
Kids, your family, your life. You bring it to the lab, which is the two of us. You say, this crazy thing happened to me, and you're like, that's so nuts and funny. What do we feel about that? What does it say about the world and society? And what's our opinion on it? That's our voice coming through. And then we're like, what is the comedy bit, the act out?
So, example, I was recently for Father's Day, my wife took me to a hotel. It was like the best Father's Day I ever spent, because I didn't have to spend it with my kids. Boom. Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day.
It's my day.
Yeah, so she took
That's
me
nothing to do what I want to do.
So she took me on a staycation to like a hotel, old hotel.
It's like you were like Fatherzilla, like a Bridezilla is like, this is my day. We're like, you're getting married to another person, right?
My day. Was the hotel haunted, like the historic Anchorage Hotel here in Anchorage?
No, that was fantastic. When we went there, the woman showed us video of like the chandelier moving. We're like, you're blowing on it.
You're blowing on it. Yeah, Terry likes to blow on the chandelier. Love you,
Don't
Terry.
blow on the chandelier.
Come to Anchorage, go to the historic.
It is amazing.
It is haunted though too.
It is. So she takes me to this hotel, the Langham. It's a wonderful, like, been around, built in like 1909. And we're going to just have a little staycation. She tricked me and got me there. It was so nice. We get there, we immediately take mushroom chocolate, because it's like
No kids.
no kids. This is like, and it's like
hallucinate together.
And it's like we've never had kids. Like, we get to the pool, and again, we see like one kid making noise. And we're like, get that clown.
Parents never should have had them.
Like, we never should have. Right. So we're like that way. And I turn to my left, and
You're in the pool, right?
Pool. I'm kind of enjoying it. It's all washing over me, everything. And I'm just kind of having a great time. I turn to my left, and I see parents throwing a kid around in the pool. And I look at it, and he's naked. This kid is naked. It's a naked kid in the pool. And my wife and I are like, what the is going on?
This kid like 15 or something?
Well, no, the kid was like 7 years old.
Oh, that's too old.
Way too old.
It's too old.
So Randy told me, I'm like, 7 years old. The guy knows how to write in cursive. Right. You should not see his
Kid goes to school all day. Like,
He's got an iCloud account. Like, you should not be seeing his.
he was around in 1909 when the hotel was built. He would have been the foreman.
You should not see his junk. You should not see his junk.
my wife turned to me in the moment and said, like, we have 2 daughters. She's like, I never in my wildest dreams thought I would see like a 7-year-old dick. And I was like, it's a dick. It's not a wee-wee or a pee-pee at this point. It's an actual dick.
Sure, it's still not a wee-wee.
She's like, I never in my life thought I'd see a 7-year-old dick. And I was like, yeah, you're not Kevin Spacey, so I was like, I can't believe I came up with that joke on mushrooms. But because that is more of a weed-based joke. But anyway, so I tell Jason this whole thing, and we're like, this is a bit. This is a new bit. Yeah, so the story itself is interesting. And how is it relevant to our lives? Because we've been doing all this parenting material, and it speaks to this specific moment in our lives, or for Randy's life, about being an empty nester, something I can't even really relate to because I'm still in the weeds. And on some level, it sounds fun. And on some level, it's terrifying. And he, talks about doing this staycation and they're being in that stage in life. So there's a little bit of comedy in the observational sort of notion that when kids grow up, you act like you never had kids and you have no tolerance for other kids. That's a funny premise in itself. But then it plays out in that I get smacked in the face by a 7-year-old dick as well. I'm like, wait, I didn't want to deal with kids, and now I'm dealing with the most kids in my family ever. Right. I wanted a Father's Day with no kids, and now I'm dealing with someone's junk. So that's funny. And so then Randy and I are like, what's the bit? And we're still working it out. I still think it has ways to go before it's like finished. Although it did well, it's been doing well. Just what's the bit? So we're like, so the truth of the matter is there is no lifeguard on at a hotel.
Yeah.
So I can't be like, can you go to I can't do that, right? And what are you going to do? Go up to the parents and be like, hey, tell your kid to put.
Some would.
It's not like they don't see it happening. They clearly condone it. They're throwing this kid around. Like, they're going to get bristle, and they'll probably take their own clothes off. Yeah, see this guy.
I look at nudity different.
Right.
Yeah, it's just not a big deal for them. It's,
like, why can't we just have a nice day at the pool? That's it. So we're like, what can we do to remedy this? And that becomes the bit for Jay and I to do. And so we're like, well, I think we should be able to pay a little bit extra on top of your room at a nice hotel. Just to be able to hit 2 kids that aren't yours. Yeah, that's right. Just rough them up a little bit. The face, you're disciplining kids where other parents are not. Okay, you're stepping in when you need to. I'm like, that's a little extra charge that you put on. But then we said, of course, if you do that, there will, of course, be a moment where you're checking out of the hotel and you paid for the extra charge. And then you show up to them like, honey, I hit 1 kid. Did you? Oh, no, I forgot to hit a kid. All right, here. Hold our bags, our luggage here. There's 2 kids with a Nintendo Switch in the lobby. Let's go rough them up a little, and we'll come back. There's that, and then the flip side. The flip side is you get your bill, and you're up at the front being like, hang on a second. This is, you guys, I need to talk to you about this bill. I'm sorry. Saying that we hit 3 kids. We did not hit 3 kids. We hit 2, and we threatened a 3rd. Yeah, that's not like hitting them. That don't look under your bed for like 2 years. But that's not like hitting. That's not a hit. No, that's like opening up the minibar, picking something up, and putting it back down. I didn't break the seal. I didn't break the seal. We should be able to do that. We are Ike Turner Platinum members. So get your manager out here.
You guys have been coming up to Alaska for a few years now.
Yes.
More often now that we've become, time's up. We got to go.
Wait,
thank you. It's Alaska. See you, everybody.
That's your friend's spam wrist.
That's my spam wrist.
I love spam.
What's that?
I got to get out of your shot.
Yeah, get out of my shot.
Get out of the shot. Jay, now you're in the shot. Get out of the shot.
I'm plus size, so I take up a lot of the shot.
That's right. That head, give him a shot. That's a big head. Where's our 2 shot? Where's our 2 shot? Do we look like we like each other? Yeah, that's mine. That's you. All right, cool. We're off to the left.
Guess they're a couple good Jewish-looking kids.
Thanks. Wait, you didn't say good-looking. You said Jewish-looking.
Well, I'm just saying.
Right.
There's Christian good-looking. There's Jewish good-looking. No,
let's be honest. It is a great time to be a Jew in the world right now. It really is a great time. At least all sides don't hate us. Okay,
that's true.
Let's continue.
You've been coming up to Alaska for a few years now. Well, you started many years ago. 20-some years ago was your first time up here.
Mm-hmm.
I think performing for UAA. I think that was.
Yes. University of Alaska Anchorage. We did a show with Tommy Davidson, which was. We were fans of his, and in Living Color, we were like, oh my God, we're going to get to meet Tommy Davidson. We came out here, and they took us around. It was really beautiful for us. And we were coming from LA. It was probably 2000, 9 or 9, 2000. They were like May of 2000. And we get up here, and we go to the show in a big theater there. It was I don't know if it was
the Wendy Williams Auditorium, probably.
It was fantastic. And it was beautiful, like wood everywhere. It was really pretty.
Oh, that might be the Performing Arts Center. I'm not sure if they had the Wendy Williams, but it was,
It was awesome. So we go and we do our set, and like local DJs brought us up, and they were so nice. And then we did our 30 minutes, and then
Tommy wasn't there yet.
he wasn't there yet. So like he hadn't even gotten there yet. And so we had to tell the audience, all right, you're going to be an intermission. All right. It's just like 15 minutes of nothing.
Then the DJs came back, and then they introduced Tommy, but he came. But in between, Randy and I are sitting back in the green room, and we're wanting to meet Tommy Davidson. I mean, that's part of the honor of coming up and doing this show when you're featuring for something.
Just had a good 30-minute set here. We were happy. We wanted to meet him. And so his manager was walking around. His manager was like, had a toothpick in his mouth, like looked like a militant black dude wearing like a Spike Lee African.
Looked like Jim Brown. He looked like Jim Brown. He was a big dude, and he walks in the room, and
Jim Brown's a football player, kids. Look him up on YouTube or
an actor
or Google.
Yeah. He was in The Dirty Dozen, right? So he walks in the room, and we're like, hey, we would love to meet Tommy, if that's okay. He's like, yeah, listen, Tommy's going to need some more ham on the ham plate. He's going to need some more cheese on that cheese platter. And then we're like, oh, he thinks we're the students.
The kids.
Yeah, organized the event. We were on stage back there. He's like, yeah, Tommy's going to need a few more olives in the olive tray. We didn't do the olive tray. Like, that's not us. I'm like, so we just couldn't believe it. And then years later, we saw Tommy Davidson on a plane. Like we were both going to Chicago. And we're like, we got to tell you this story. First of all, we said to Pete Holmes, we told that story to Pete Holmes, and Pete thinks that's the funny. I mean, we love it so much that we just now will text each other. We'll send a TikTok clip of Tommy Davidson and just say, Tommy needs, Tommy need. And so we told Tommy Davidson the whole story, and then how we talked to Pete Holmes and just like sign off by saying Tommy needs. And he's like, I didn't need any of that stuff. He's like, that was just for that asshole.
That's
eating my.
He just wanted power.
He just wanted that stuff. He's like, I can't believe. Like, look at how skinny I am. You think I eat that shit? And we're like, Tommy, you're so right. We should have never. And then we saw Tommy in DC, and like he let it. We were in DC doing something else. I think we were there for like the Kennedy Center for like a show at the Kennedy Center or something like that. And we were just doing shows at the Improv. And he's like, "Come on up," and he had us come up and do a little guest set, and we guested in on his show, and it was I loved it. But it started here in Alaska. That little relationship that was so great. So we went there, and then now in the last 5 or 6 years, we've been here like 4 times.
4 times.
Yeah.
What do you love about Alaska? Because that's one thing I noticed when I first brought you up here. You know, I didn't know who you guys were. I'm like, yeah, they're probably nice, and most people are nice, but some you want to build a relationship with, and others like, yeah, okay, thanks, nice seeing you. Probably never going to bring you up again. Mm-hmm. It is what it is.
Right.
But you guys were fun to hang out with. But you also loved Alaska. We went to the Animal Conservation Center. I mean, you had a puffy coat.
Yeah,
Jason, you played golf. Yeah.
Oh, we've done so much here that we just...
You've done more than the few times I brought you up here than I've done the
years I've lived. Like, Brad, you gotta check out there. I'm like, Brad, you got to check out Alaska. It's awesome. Have you seen Alaska? You should do a podcast called... I do want to say that Brad in my phone is not Brad Erickson. He is Brad Alaska.
As it should be. I don't want that changed.
I'll never change it. So I think our attitude, it's born out of 2 things. One, getting out and going on the road is hard. It is harder for me than it is for Randy now, but it is hard. It's hard on a million levels. Like traveling is hard. Like I forgot my passport at my house after I had driven all the way to Randy's house to pick him up to take him to the airport. So then we were on this stress, like, you know, Keanu Reeves speed, Sandra Bullock shit to get to the airport. I mean, I know that's the opposite. They were trying to slow down a bus, but we were trying to go fast.
That's right.
Whatever speed. It was insane. And the stress of that almost gave me a heart attack. And then getting on the plane and traveling, and it's long and it's hard and it's exhausting. So it's
tough on your body with the time change. People don't realize that's
tough.
The work is the travel.
Traveling is really tough. So we're like, if we're making the effort to go all the way to some place, we're not going to sit inside a hotel room or a Airbnb and just sit and watch and doom scroll through social media. We want to be out. We want to be experiencing the place. We want to understand what the place is. On some levels, I feel like it's like reconnaissance work. So like later in life, when we want to travel with our wives or with our kids,
and we're planning that to be able to bring your family up.
Oh, we would love that. I would love that, because what we're starting to understand is like the gift is that work takes us to places that we never perhaps would have gone on our own. Like I think we would have gone to Alaska on maybe a cruise or something like that, but we wouldn't have known where the good coffee places were. We wouldn't have gotten to go to specific,
restaurants and specific things along the way.
The local
Vibe is the greatest. And
you're
so
a tourist, you see you see one part of it, but if you're with the locals, they show you some of the other stuff.
And you understand what Alaska is going through and what they're doing. And, and we like to write material about places that we're in. The first 5-10 minutes of our act, wherever we go, based on this, we did an audiobook for Audible where we went to 10 cities and we wrote comedy about those cities.
Yeah.
We're like, here's the task. Plane lands on Thursday. By Saturday, can we write 10 minutes of comedy about Bloomington, Indiana, about Denver, Colorado, about Madison, Wisconsin, Dallas, Texas? And so you hear us, the plane lands, and you hear us like trying to talk to people about what's going on and then figure out what's going on. And then you hear us trying that material over the weekend. And then the last 10 minutes of the chapter, each city is 5 or 6. They sprinkle some stand-up throughout. And the show is called Sklars and Stripes. And actually someone came to our show last night and said, I was driving my son from Anchorage up to Fairbanks to go to college, and we listened to your Sklars and Stripes. And it was really cool because it made us love being on the road. It was a very interesting portrait. It was 3 things. It's like, this is what it's like to be a stand-up comedian at our level, the struggles and the joys and all the parts of that. This is what it's like to travel and miss your family and what it's like to be on the road. This is what it's like to be in all these cities. And this is what it's like to be a comedian trying to create material. It's the creative process is on display in this thing as well. That's what we like to do everywhere we go. In order to do that, you have to experience the city. You have to go out to experience life. And you've been so kind to us to be like, I'm taking you to this nature reserve. We're going up to Girdwood. We're going to...
Yeah, exactly. Oh, sorry. Spam res.
We're going to all these places and we are open. We're game for all of it because you meet great people along the way. You talk to people. Any person you meet could be like a story, the way we behave in a certain situation.
Exactly.
And you start thinking like that. Like I woke up in the middle of the night last night and I don't know if this is a bit or not, but I was like, I feel like there needs to be like a Disneyland in Alaska, but Alaska style. Like there's the Hall of Stepdads, you know what I mean? Or whatever. And it's scary. It's like a roller coaster. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. And I just started thinking about like, what would Disney in Alaska be? And what that is like you have to be observant. You have to understand. Like
you get chased by you just walking down the trail,
and you're literally chasing
a bear comes after.
Make yourself big, David.
This is what it feels like to get kicked by a moose.
Yeah, the make yourself bigatorium. Yeah. It's a big world, after all. No, but so all that stuff, like how can we play? And I don't know if there's a bit in that or not, but like
I think there is.
I think because we start thinking like that, then we say yes. It's like we're here, we're away from our families. It's harder for me than for Randy, as I say, because my kids are still in the house and it's a little harder on my partner. But I will say, if we're here and we're going to make it hard on people at home, or we're going to take the effort to do the hard travel to get there, let's experience it to the max. And you live your life better that way. And this job is amazing that way. And I think about like friends of ours who grew up in St. Louis, who still are in St. Louis, and
that don't have the opportunity to travel.
They'll go one place a year.
True.
They'll go one place a year, and it'll be in the wintertime, and it'll be a warm climate place.
Phoenix.
Right. Yeah, well, so
nothing wrong with Phoenix, but
So this weekend, I called a friend of ours who lives in Raleigh because we're going to be doing a theater in Raleigh next Friday, a week from tonight. And I was like, hey, Amy, we're coming to town. I'd love to see you and your husband. And like, let's just hang out. This like childhood friend we went to grade school with all the way up through high school. I love her. She's great. And she's in Raleigh. And I just want to give her the heads up. Hey, we're coming. Cancel whatever plans you have and come see us. You know what I mean? This is your chance to get out of whatever bullshit thing your husband has for work that you have to do. And so she's like, you're not going to the reunion. There's a reunion for our high school in St. Louis this weekend. And I was like, I can't. It sucks.
We're here in Alaska.
We're here. We're going up to Alaska.
It's Alaska, yeah.
It's Alaska.
And I was like, we're going up to Alaska to do shows. Now, she is a doctor and her husband like runs the Duke Hospital and whatnot. And she's just very smart and has done a lot of cool things. And she was like, oh my God, that's so cool. That's so cool that you get to go there. And I was like, yeah, saying it out loud to people. I can't. We're doing this or we're going to Alaska and then we're coming up here. People are just like, that's the coolest thing ever that you're going up there. And I'm like, yeah, it is really cool. We should appreciate this because most people don't get to do it. I mean, most people in the United States
can't afford it. They don't have the opportunity. Or they got to work. They
don't think to like that this is somewhere that they should go. It's like Jay was saying, like our work has taken us up here. And then you get up here and of course we love nature and we love, we've been hiking in the Alps. And, I've like just, there is so much of things that we absolutely love up here all together. Nature, animals, like nice people, good drives, experiences, fishing and all that stuff. We love all that stuff. And so that brings it all together.
And you get a sense of the people. And it's so funny, Rand, as you were telling that story, I was looking in that direction and I realized that on the sign, the It's Alaska podcast sign, the bear is farting ice up into the sky.
Right.
And I really feel like it's farting. That is smoke. Maybe it's farting smoke up.
That's where we end the show, everybody. That is the ending right there.
That's the most Carson thing ever. May a bear fart smoke up on your mouth.
El Stigaruni. Well, guys, thank you so much for being on the show. It's Alaska, and thanks for the friendship and becoming friends and having you come up here. And we're going to you guys are kind of my guinea pigs. We're trying some new places. We're going to do comedy in Seward.
Can't wait.
And we're also going to go and do comedy in Valdez. So these are new markets for Erickson events.
We're going to blaze the trail for you, buddy.
Thank you.
I love it. Thank you for being so kind to us, and thank you for getting us work. We are always appreciative, but it is actually really fun to hang with you as well.
And the checks usually clear, so that's
usually one of us clears every time.
There you go. Thanks for being on the show. It's Alaska, everybody.